Yeah, see, this is one of the episodes I did not want to do in the dark, and it is very slowly getting dark. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's going to be okay. I'm not saying that it's paranormal, but this is the third time I've had to record this because the previous 2 times didn't save. And as you can see, it is getting progressively darker. I swear to God. Why am I doing this? Before we begin, I feel I should explain, as a lot of people outside Ireland might not know this. The word banshee is spelled Bensidhe, which translates to fairy woman, spelled Faerie. Now, a fairy and a fairy are vastly different. The main difference is that a fairy is a young, kind, pure spirit, whereas a fairy is described as being more mischievous and often evil. So allow me to explain why the banshee might be slightly misunderstood. Tales of the banshee have evolved over centuries, portraying the banshee as a prominent figure in modern media as an evil fairy or a demon with dark magical powers. However, known in Ireland as a female spirit, the banshee wails outside a house to warn of the imminent death of a family member, providing the opportunity for the family to prepare. Some describe her as an escort, ensuring the passage of a loved one to the other side. Legends of the banshee have been passed down for generations, with some suggesting that she's the ghost of a young woman who was brutally killed and now watches over families warning of impending death. She's said to appear in various forms, including an old woman dressed in black or green with long grey hair and a veiled face, a deathly pale woman with long red hair wearing a white dress or shroud, a beautiful young woman with silver white hair and a shimmering silver dress, carrying or using a silver comb, or a headless woman, naked from the waist up holding a bowl of blood. So she's got a wardrobe. In all these forms, her eyes are always red from crying. Historians trace the first banshee stories back to the 8th century. Tradition states that women sang sorrowful songs to lament someone's death and were paid in alcohol. So it was believed that they were sinful and thus doomed to become banshees. Initially, it was believed that the banshee only came for families with specific names such as O'Grady, O'Neill, O'Brien, O'Connor and Kavanagh. However, there are also stories of her favouring families containing an O or a Mac, such as O'Brien or MacNeil. Not all banshees are depicted as hate-filled creatures. Some have strong ties to their family in life and continue to watch over them in death, appearing as beautiful, enchanting women singing sorrowful songs filled with concern and love for their families. On the contrary, there are also terrifying banshees with strong reasons to hate their families, appearing as distorted and frightening apparitions, emitting chilling howls. Instead of warning a family member, they're said to celebrate the impending death of someone they despise. However, the legend states that the banshee does not cause death. They only serve as a warning. There are different accounts of the banshee's physical features, including her height. Some tales depict her as standing unnaturally tall, while most describe her as short, ranging from 1 to 4 feet tall. Her exceptional shortness often corresponds with her depiction as an older woman, emphasizing her status as a fairy creature. The banshee is also believed to predict death. If someone is about to enter a situation where they are unlikely to survive, she will warn them by screaming or wailing. For instance, the banshee attached to the kingly house of O'Brien in 1014 appeared to the aged King Brian Burrow the night before the Battle of Clontarf and warned him of his impending fate. The banshee's aim is to give the family a warning and time to prepare for death, although it's impossible to predict who is about to die. In 1941, Dublin was on high alert during World War II. The streets were dark and deserted. One night, a local doctor was called to the house of a very sick man, and the doctor knew that he would be in attendance for much of the night. Nervous, his wife took their 3 children to her mother's cottage in nearby North Strand. As the doctor worked, he heard wailing through the window as the sick man gasped for breath. The wife of the ill man started screaming for the banshee not to take her husband and began to throw holy water around the room. Finally, the cries dwindled and the man stabilized. The doctor told the woman she had heard nothing but a crying cat and that she needed to get some sleep. As he returned home in the dark, he heard a metal clang on the stone beneath his feet. He stooped down and picked up a comb, the symbol of the banshee. Dr. MacDonald shrugged and continued on his way. As he approached his door, he stopped, frozen to the spot. An old hag sat on his doorstep, wailing and combing her matted grey hair with a long, shriveled finger pointing at him. A loud humming above him caused him to look away from the old woman. He saw 3 bomber aircraft fly overhead, and when he glanced back, the woman was gone. Seconds later, the night sky lit up as North Strand exploded into a ball of flames, and among the casualties were the doctor's mother-in-law, his wife, and his 3 children. Despite her good intentions, she's still freaking terrifying.